Video Games Recon.
Hello and welcome. My name is Nate from Video Games Recon, and in this video we will be covering my top 10 favourite regular zombie guns throughout all of Call of Duty Zombies, not including wonder weapons, as I've already done a top 10 wonder weapons list which you can check out here should you wish to. And as usual, this list is based on my favourite weapons, i.e. guns I had the most fun with and not necessarily listed in order of the strongest. Also, this is just my humble opinion, and I'm sure many will disagree, in which case please refrain from raging that your favourite gun isn't in this list. Instead, feel free to list your top 10 or top 5 weapons in the comments section. Anywho, without any further ado, let's do it to it. 10. The MG08. Okay, to kick this list off, I'm going to start with the beastly little machine that is the MG08, found exclusively on the Origins map and based off a real German World War I machine gun. This thing kicks quite a punch. A bit of a mixed metaphor there. Anywho, the MG08 has great power, a high rate of fire, and is one of my favourite LMGs of all time, due mainly to it being so much fun to play with, and its incredibly low recoil compared to a hammer, for example. Plus, its awesome steampunk styling and Origins camo really sets this weapon apart aesthetically. However, due to its slow movement speed and small magazines, which don't get increased even when pack-a-punched, this weapon falls a little short and only makes it to number 10 on my list. 9. The Crossbow. This one's a bit of a funny one. Making its debut in Black Ops 1, the Crossbow initially seems a bit rubbish, with it only firing one shot at a time, being slow to reload and its explosive tip bolt giving off a large and disorientating blast radius. So there seems little reason to keep this weapon aside from while sticking about with your mates. But where this weapon really comes into its own is once pack-a-punched, as this weapon does a superhero party trick, changing from a mild-mannered Clark Kent in the Crossbow to a badass Superman in the Awful Lawton. As now not only does this weapon do everything it did before, but better, now once fired the Awful Lawton has monkey-like effects, attracting the zombies to wherever the bolt has landed, either saving your ass from a tight spot or giving you the opportunity to do your Superman move and save the day by reviving your downed teammates. 8. The AN-94. The AN-94 is probably one of, if not the strongest assault rifles in Zombies, and is pretty much a modern day equivalent of the old faithful and beautiful AK-47. This weapon has a good fire rate, decent magazine size, manageable recoil, albeit a tad on the high side, and holds on to its power throughout the rounds incredibly well, especially when pack-a-punched, and more so than many weapons in the box. Also, this weapon can be bought off the wall in both die-rise and buried, meaning ammo is plentiful, even once pack-a-punched, although in the latter's case, quite expensive, making this weapon in general a very safe bet. 7. The THOMPSON/M1927. This one is a 2-for-1 in the Thompson and M1927 submachine guns, as they are both derivatives of the same weapon, and I just couldn't choose between them. I know it's kind of cheating, but meh, had to be done. So, as they're quite different weapons from each other, I'll tackle them one by one. First up, the Thompson. This reliable friend has been with us since day one, and has become a staple diet for all zombie slayers, due to its high rate of fire, decent power and great manoeuvrability, making it perfect for running a train. And now onto the new iteration of the Thompson, which is technically the old version of this weapon. Gotta love that time travel malarkey. The M1927, or the Tommy gun, as I like to call it, is a great weapon due to its ridiculous fire rate, abundance of ammo, large clips and decent power. This thing is a straight up point score, and although neither of these weapons are great in the later rounds, and struggle to hold on to their ammo into pack-a-punch, which to be fair is a bit of a non-issue as they're both often wall guns. So with that, the abundant points gained whilst using these guns will bag you more than enough to get those powerhouse weapons needed to get into the high ranks. So all in all, modest but great weapon. Six, the Remington New Model Army. This one was a tough choice as to whether to go with the Remington New Model Army or the Python, as these revolvers are very similar guns, but I feel the Remington just pipped it due to it being able to reload all 6 of its rounds in one go, opposed to the Python reloading each round one by one. That said, once pack-a-punched, this issue balances itself out as both weapons are able to reload this way. And speaking of being pack-a-punched, that's where these guns really come into their own, as before being upgraded they're both so-so weapons, with good one-stop power in the early rounds, if a little slow to reload and unforgiving due to their small magazines. Plus there are better weapons out there if you're trying to accumulate points. So unpack-a-punched, not that great aside from the low to mid rounds, but once upgraded and brought into the higher rounds, few weapons are so manoeuvrable and hold on to their power, and even fewer continue to have 1 or 2 shot stopping power into the late 20s and past round 30. So it may be a shrewd choice to swap out your assault rifle or LMG for one of these bad boys if you're challenging yourself to beat your highest rounds. Five, the MP40. The MP40 brings back fond memories, particularly from Black Ops 1, although this weapon has been available in every COD Zombies game and continues to be of great use in all, as it's fairly powerful with a great fire rate, is cheap and holds onto its ammo well. This is one of those strange weapons which actually may be better unpack-a-punched, as once upgraded it struggles to hold onto its ammo due to its increased rate of fire, spewing out bullets like the projectile vomiting scene in The Exorcist. That said, and although counterintuitive, you may want to team this with double tap and just stick with it for a while, racking up points until you're ready to hit up the mystery box for those high round guns. That is presuming you can buy it off the wall in said map. Put simply, for those low to mid rounds you can't go wrong with a cheese gun. I mean MP40.
Chicken cheese?
Chicken cheese.
Is that even a real thing?
I hope so. Oh, I love cheese.
I love cheese.
I love cheese so much.
4. The LSAT. This one is a toss-up between the hammer and the LSAT, but I decided to go with the LSAT due to its reduced recoil and all-round better swag, as it's a little more impressive and easy on the eyes. Plus, I like the original way it can be acquired in the Black Ops 2 Buried map. So, the LSAT is your typical LMG, with shit tons of ammo, good fire rate and high power. And although I was hard pushed to choose this over the other LMGs as they're all great weapons, and I wouldn't blame you for choosing pretty much any of the others over this weapon, but I think this LMG has a little more of almost everything, making it the most balanced LMG, and its only downsides are its lack of mobility and slow reload times, which all LMGs suffer from in differing degrees. And when pack-a-punched, it comes with a target finder attachment, which, if a bit gimmicky, is pretty cool. Not to worry though if you're not keen, as it can be switched out for a red dot sight or a foregrip. So yeah, pretty beastly, and regardless of what round you're on. 3. The Commando. Although not the strongest gun, or possibly even assault rifle, debuting in Kino de Toten, the Commando is a great and incredibly well balanced weapon, with solid firepower, rate of fire, ammo capacity, mobility, reload times and much more. Although this gun may struggle a little in the later rounds, you're going to have so much fun getting there you're not even going to care. That, combined with it being great for running trains due to its mobility, plus it having dual clips once pack-a-punched, and being the most balanced assault rifle in terms of mobility. And also perhaps with a little nostalgia thrown into boot, carries this weapon into the number 3 spot in this list. Two, the M1911. Now, at this point you're probably thinking, what the fuck are you talking about, having a starter pistol at number 2 in your list? Well, as we all know, the M1911 is a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde, as although a humble and unimpressive starter pistol, once pack-a-punched, this weapon goes from a 0 to a hero, and becomes Mustang and Sally, 2 grenade launchers for the price of 1, with a decent amount of ammo and neatly packaged into dual-wield pistols. These things, although a little dangerous without PhD flopper due to splashback damage, are practically wonder weapons. As personally, I'd rather have Mustang and Sally as opposed to a Winter's Howl or a VRX-11 for example. And on top of that, this weapon is incredibly easy to acquire, as if you have a decent secondary weapon to build points, all you need is 5 grand and a pack-a-punch machine, and all 4 of your team can have the anarchist wet dream that is Mustang and Sally. So, with that, let's have a quick look at some honourable mentions that just missed the cut in this top 10 list, before we go on to reveal our number 1 spot on best weapon in Call of Duty Zombies. The hammer. As previously discussed, this weapon is a beast and easily could have been switched out for the MG08 or LSAT. The Galil. Again, there's not a whole lot in it between this weapon and the AN-94 or Commando. Aside from those weapons, in my opinion, give off a better vibe, and as such I have to trust my instincts and presume I enjoy them more for a reason, and that reason is that they're slightly better weapons. The RPK is my favourite LMG from Black Ops 1, and although I enjoy using this weapon, I think the MG08, LSAT and even the hammer are better weapons, and thus the RPK couldn't quite make it onto this list. The Executioner is an incredibly underrated gun, and is even more powerful than a Python or Remington new model army, although its range, or lack thereof, tends to let it down. The KSG is probably my favourite shotgun, due to it having massive magazines, great power and awesome range due to its slug rounds. But although a great weapon, I felt there were slightly better weapons out there. The Death Machine does what it says on the tin, and is a straight up machine of death, and absolutely nails those zombie sons of bitches, and would easily have made it onto my list if it hadn't been for the snail's pace you walk at when you have this monster equipped. And as someone who likes to run a train, this is something I could never get over. So, with that all done and dusted, our number 1 and best regular gun in all of Call of Duty Zombies is the PPSH. This thing is so bison and easily a match for many a wonder weapon. The PP is the perfect fully auto gun with the power of an LMG and large ammo capacity, combined with the rate of fire and mobility of a submachine gun. And on top of all that, this weapon also has great point horribility, making this the best of all worlds. The only downside to this weapon is its high rate of fire, as even though its ammo capacity is good, its ridiculous rate of fire still eats through ammo like a fat kid at a buffet. And when pack-a-punched, it just gets more power, more ammo, a faster rate of fire, more clip size, more everything. And as such, this weapon is so overpowered, it hasn't featured again in Zombies since World at War, as no normal weapon can compare. So that's my top 10 regular zombie guns. What's yours? Feel free to hit me up in the comments with your thoughts. So, just leave me to say if you enjoyed this video, Please help support us by liking, commenting, sharing, favouriting and subbing for more BS of a similar nature. Thank you and goodbye.